Hello, hello, hello. Okay, so today I should be finishing up the preview that's available for step 2. Don't worry about that. Okay, okay. Nope. Right, so where we left off, we did the intro into the in-between. So like the in-between, it talked about how the years have gone by. We're about to start high school, 14 years old. Chiyu goes by they, them, and is less social. Also, the boys club broke up, disbanded. Baxter stopped being friends with both of them, dyed his hair black. Darren goes by Rin now. He's just Rin. Him and Chiyu are still friends, but they have sometimes they see each other, sometimes there's like, it's tense, sometimes it's chill, you know, but they're still friends. And then meanwhile with Tamarack, she is still like, seems like an outsider. Like, people still see her as like a bit of she's still like the elephant in the room, you know, like the odd one there, the odd one out when she goes places. But she's also runs around in the woods and is more trying to keep her clothes all neat, because, you know, as a kid she didn't care if they got all the holes in them. But she still lives with her grandparents. Her parents still don't live in town. And then today, Kia, the character's mom, wants to get her a phone. My character's name is Kia. She's one of my OCs. But her mom's gonna get off work early so she can take her to get a phone. And until the mom gets there, Kia already had plans anyway to go visit Chiyu and Tamarack, because Tamarack is waiting for a call, was supposed to be doing a call with her parents, and Chiyu hasn't left their house in a while. And we're gonna go see Tamarack first. Yep. And that is a recap on what has happened last time, in case you didn't remember. So here we are. You reach the front of their house and ring the bell. This is Tamarack's house, in case you can't, in case you didn't know. The Baumans. An answer came immediately. Coming, hold your horses. Oh, right, let me show you this real quick. So Tamarack, they are still best friends. I left this setting because when you get to step 2, you can have a jealousy meter, basically. So they're envious of, not jealous, jealous over. But this is where they stand. I left this exactly as it always was. This I did adjust because Kia originally was teamworking, praising, but I'm trying to remember how she is like in my story, where she would be as a high schooler. And at the beginning of early high school, she's definitely deferring, unassuming. But she still, of course, admires her best friend. She admires Chiyu too. But I just kept that because of who she is in general. Yeah, left this the same as well. And yeah, just wanted to show that. But look at her, isn't she so precious? Ah, I love my characters. Okay. Continuing on. A series of thumps followed the shout. You wrapped your arms around yourself, waiting. The door swung inwards. Wafts of perfume and a long, worn-out breath escaped through the opening. That trip down the main hall got longer every year, as the woman in front of you would swear. That was your grandma right there. You didn't mind her much. It was hard to know what to expect with Mrs. Bauman. She could be really nice and super unpleasant. Mrs. Bauman was such a cool old lady. She was always so funny. Tamarack had your sympathy. She wasn't too bad to deal with. Mrs. Bauman was awful. You had to get away from there ASAP. Well, Kia, of course, is like, that's my granny. Because, yep, this is definitely the most Kia option. As she was still granny to you. Yep, that's what it is. You'd gotten too old to call Mrs. Bauman granny like you did as a kid. She wasn't granny to you anymore. You had your own word for that. Oh, I wonder if that would... Wait. Oh, yeah, you can change the... Oh, that's so cool. And you can call her, like... that, and then you can choose your own. That's really cool. Wait, that's neat. Oh. Maybe when I play as Miles, I will change it to this one. But then again, he has a... Well, and you know you can have multiple grandmas. Wow, that's so amazing. Wow. Okay. I'll leave it as Granny though. Well. Yeah, I'll leave it as Granny. And she was still Granny to you. But that was really cool. That was really cool. Wait. She dressed as glamorous as ever with a puffy blouse and statement belt buckle. That golden double loop acted as her anchor. She always needed something to keep her grounded. Besides, Granny could never be too old to get dolled up. It didn't matter that her knees didn't work the way they used to, and the last hints of blonde had faded from her hair. She'd also had to chop the ends off several months ago. The split ends had gotten out of control, though her hair had been so long, removing inches still left plenty. Pure white strands framed muted red eyes. Granny leaned her cheek into the doorframe. She shared a smile for a hello. I didn't know you and Tamarack had plans, but that's good. Perfect timing. I have told Opal repeatedly how lucky she was to have such a kind-hearted child. I say the same about Tamarack. Lord knows there are some true rabble-rousers out there that... She stopped herself and shook her head. The tiny ribbon on her shirt flapped like a flag of surrender. Oh, I forgot my glasses again. Oh well. Oh, I forgot to change the... Sorry. I play this. I was playing this. But I like this one. It's just that it's easier to read when it's the bigger box for me. I do not have my glasses, but that is okay. I also think this way is easier for it to appear in the during the stream, because especially when like they put sparkles or hearts on the box, because you can't see them with my layout. I'd have to kind of adjust my layout a bit, which I don't know where I'd put me. I could put if I slowed the screen down, I could put the follower box up in the top corner, but then I would still be kind of in the way over here. But you could half see them. I'll consider it. But I shall move on. That doesn't matter. You're not here for me to talk your ear off. You're here for your friend. Tamarack is in the backyard of all things. I suggest you go right around the house. That'll get you to her. It'd work. It may or may not be simpler than going through the front door and out the back, but it'd work. Have a good day, Angel. Granny shut the door behind her. You turned the other way and hopped off the porch. The Bauman backyard, huh? You saw all the time out windows and from your own yard, but it'd been ages since you stepped foot in there. You didn't because Tamarack didn't. How awkward would it be if you went into her backyard by yourself? Tamarack had gone over every inch of that patch of earth 100 times. There was no magic left to find. She'd outgrown her childhood playground like a growing tree in a too small pot. You shimmied between their mailbox and the bushes guarding your house. Mama kept those trimmed. They weren't as wild as when you'd moved in. That didn't mean they were small, and you weren't a kid anymore. Leaves tickled your chin as you passed by. Branches brushed your chest. Your house was psyching you up for the day. You got through the gap and rounded the corner. A narrow path opened onto the edge of a far-reaching forest. The line between the woods and the backyard was clear. Mr. and Mrs. Bauman made sure the land they were paying for stayed in tip-top form. It didn't matter that people living there only enjoyed its beauty maybe a couple times a month. It didn't matter that the people living there only enjoyed its beauty maybe a couple times a month. What if a guest saw their grass with a less than flawless form? That concern for others didn't mean they weren't going to replace perfectly good patio furniture. It'd been 4 years and they still had the same table and chairs. And you'd bet money those were already old when you first saw them. There was something new there, though. A bag sat nicely on the tabletop. Tamarac's childhood messenger bag had to join the Bauman's collection of antiques that were to be seen, not touched, before it fell apart completely. The new pretty pack could hold just as much as the original. It was also mostly brown again. The strap, top flap, and bottom support all were, but the center was pastel pink. Oh yeah, pink was one of her favorite colors. It was purple, pink, yellow, and orange maybe? And any color that Kia likes. Mrs. Bauman got it for her lovely young granddaughter, and she had assured everyone that Mr. Bauman helped. You shifted your focus over to that lovely lady. Tamarack sat motionless on the tire swing her grandparents had made for her. She had her arms wrapped around the rope tied in a bow. The tips of her pink boots dragged against the ground. That was where she was staring, too, at the dirt. Heavy bangs covered a third of her face. Tamarack's hair stayed short. She'd actually had it cut a little shorter than when she was a kid. Instead of letting it be a total puffball, she styled her strands into soft waves. She hadn't bothered to put on a coat. A purple knit sweater over some kind of lacy trimmed shirt was enough. That was Tamarack Bauman, though you also knew her by a nickname. That was Tamarack Bauman for you. Very few people got to do that. The nickname was Tammy. I want to pronounce this Tama, but there's two M's. Tama? Tama. T. You called her. I'm trying to think of the nickname conventions in my story because, okay, so Kia doesn't have a nickname and Miles doesn't have a nickname, but in the friend group, so they're the only two, well, yeah, they're kind of the only two without a friend group. I mean, in the friend group without a nickname. Because then there's Ryan, who goes by Rye. There's Tyrone, who goes by Ty. There's Leilani, who goes by Lonnie. I guess Paisley and Sabrina don't really have nicknames, though I think that sometimes Paisley might be called P. But, I could go with the T, but I don't know, I wanted to go like a Lonnie style nickname. And Lonnie is like part of her name, because Leilani. So I just took the middle of Tamarack, and now it's Mara. Yep. There we go, my long explanation of why I've decided that Mara will be Kia's nickname for her. Oh look, and then if you changed your mind, you could still, I guess I clicked this part and not the thing. But yeah, see? T, Mara, T, Mara, T, Mara. We're gonna go Mara. Seemed like this was a glasses day. Wide frames rested against her nose. When Tamarack had to get braces, she insisted on having contacts too. She could not live with both of those at the same time. Then she said sorry if that hurt your feelings. She didn't mean it that way. You could have glasses and braces. There was only something wrong with that when it was her. because our dear Kia here. Oh, you can't see it. Wait. There you go. You can see it here, kind of. She's got braces. Oh. It's not in Tamarak's picture. But she also has braces. They're braces buds. Braces, glasses, buds with short hair. Wait, does she have short hair? Short hair buds. Anyway, return to game. Okay, I read that. But Tamarak didn't like wearing contacts either. Contacts were only worth the annoyance if she was going somewhere with lots of people. You walked over to the rock path. She heard you coming. Tamarak glanced up. Tamarak's tense features couldn't stop a smile spreading over her cheeks. Kia! Mara! Hey! Hi! I missed you so much! Miss me? My angel princess? You gave a huge wave. You winked. She'd so been missing you. You felt complete. You'd missed her. You shot a finger gun. Your heart clenched. She was your angel princess. Mara! You grinned. You gave a smile. We're gonna also shout her name. She lurched forward with a burst of motion, reaching out towards you. The tire she dangled on swung with that energy. You went over before she could fall further away than where she'd begun. You grabbed her hand. You stood at the side of the swing, trying not to get hit. You walked forward and back in time with the swing's arch. He is gonna hold her hand. Oh right, that reminds me, there was another thing. There was a question in the in-between that basically allows you to choose how physically affectionate your friends are able to be with you. So this is like all the time, like, you know, like they have no problem like draping over you themselves, like it's their initiative, because it explained that you can still instigate like with on your end, but they won't, depending on how you do the setup. So it's like they are fine just like, you know, giving you hugs all the time or whatnot. Then there was like one that was lesser, where it's like you guys can poke and nudge at each other sometimes. Then there was one where it's like only during like serious, and there's one that's only that they don't instigate because you don't want to be touched. Of course, for Kia, I just left it at, for both of them, they can give hugs and hold hands and all that stuff anytime they want, because I just kind of wanted it to reflect Kia. And I think that's what I'll generally do with my characters, and I do that question because like some of them are more likely to instigate than others. So I guess I have to decide like which ones. I wonder if that question will come up each step or not. You know, like if it'll have like let you decide if that has changed. I mean, probably, because you can change the relationships. You can like boop boop bop 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 bop. You could have even gone from friends back down to neighbors, which would have been so sad. Anyways, I've talked enough. Let's go on to the I keep forgetting where the mic even is. I don't even know if you can hear me some of this time. I hope I am audible. Right now it's talking, but if I turn away, well, I can't see it if I turn away. Okay, carrying on. Apologies. Your palms smacked together. She twisted her fingers around yours. Tamarak became suspended diagonally in air. Gravity tried to pull you apart, but you ignored the law of physics for her. You made it! Her hair fluttered in the breeze. Yeah, I'd never forget. Are you ready to talk to your parents? I forgot. There is a certain way that Kia talks that's a bit different than everyone else. Like, at least my script. Like, think a little bit more like Marine from Sonic. Yeah, a little bit more like that. She nodded, her jaw set firmly. I'm gonna call my mom. I'll do it fast. Mr. and Mrs. Bauman, the younger, you'd met them. They'd wanted to see Tamarac's friends the first time they'd visited. Whenever they visited since, you'd seen them again. You were always with Tamarack. Yeah, my besties. Tamarack gripped your hand hard, narrow eyebrows, shoved her eyes nearly closed. Tamarack plucked her naturally bushy brows. We have enough to worry about already. High school is starting tomorrow. Who knows what Mom might try to bring up if I had to call by myself. Her words came out frazzled and emphasized in a bunch of different places. Then she sighed. Tamarack unpilled one of her tightened fists and adjusted the crook of her arm to make sure she didn't fall right out of the tire. Thanks for letting me drag you into this. Tamarack sighed again. Her head drifted lower and lower until her chin rested against the rubber. Despite the unsteadiness of her position, she was now secure. You gave the okay. That's what you were here for. It made her grin, a real grin, with her lips parted and everything. Oh. Ever since Tamarack had those braces put on, she almost never smiled with her teeth. You knew how self-conscious she was about them, but that rule went away when it was safely just the two of you. But Kia? She rolled her face over, squishing a cheek into the grooves of the tire. No effort was being expended. My phone is in the bag over there. Leggings don't have pockets. She kicked a leg towards the table, 10 feet away from her. The swing weakly twirled her around. Tamarack attempted to keep eye contact with you during the spin. Could you get it for me, so I don't have to climb out of this thing, please? Huh? Sure. Fine. I do too much for you. No. Is it really okay for me to look inside? Get it yourself, girl. Yeah, I can do that. You stay right there. Oh wait, I'm not pointing at it. Yeah, I can do that. You stay right there. Ooh, you'll let me see inside your bag? I've always wondered about its mysteries. You simply turned to go get it. You showed her a thumbs up. That was no problem. You nodded rapidly. Tamarack didn't need to lift a finger. You glanced hesitantly between Tamarack and her bag. Was it okay for you to open it? You rubbed your hands together. You'd finally get to see inside her bag. You stuck your tongue out at her. She could get it herself. You stared blankly, not budging. You openly ignored her. Did somebody say something? Not as far as you knew. I think Kia's leaning towards it. Really okay for me to look inside. Yeah, I can do that. You stay right there. And, ooh, you'll let me see inside your bag? I always wondered about mysteries. I think I'm going to choose that one. I think Kia's kind of like she's a little goofy. That's right. You can see because you're special. Aw, that was actually sweet of her. But the phone is right on top. Don't dig around in there. Dang, so much for being super extra special. Her hand slipped through yours. Tamarack stayed sitting pretty while you fetched her needed tool. If Granny's throne was the green drawing room chair, The tire swing was Tamarack's. You undid the flap of her bag, itching for the reveal. Inside was a smudge-free smartphone. The screen winked at you with a glint of light. It was ready to be collected. You grabbed it. In the seconds you needed to lift the phone and close the bag, you took stock of Tamarack's stuff. A lip gloss, hair bands, her wallet tucked into a side pocket, a white box, probably a first aid kit. There was an opened bag of something from the corner store tucked into the corner. It could have been chips or cookies. You couldn't make out the logo. Dang, nothing juicy. Hey, come on. Coming. You pulled yourself away from the table and passed Tamarack her phone. Thank you. Tamarack scrolled across the screen, and then she typed. She put her phone to her ear and waited. Oh, look, she's got stickers on her phone case. That's so neat because if you recall, which you might not because it's been a few days, she had stickers on her scooter. Like her scooter was just covered in stickers. Oh, look, she's got stickers on her phone case. There's a rainbow. I can't really see what oh, is that like a little rabbit right there? I can't fully see all the stickers because her hand is right there, but that's cool. Cool little detail there. She put her phone to her ear and waited. It rang repeatedly. Mrs. Bauman, not Granny, did answer. You guessed she had anyway. Tamarack's face was suddenly covered by a stiff mask of the real thing. If that wasn't enough of a clue, she started talking. Excuse me. Hi, Mom. Thanks for doing this. Kia's here too. We've been hanging out. Tamarack held the phone towards you, careful not to shove it in your face. What's up? See? Yeah, Mrs. Bauman. Tamarack wasn't alone. Yeah, Mrs. Bauman. Tamarack wasn't alone. She would never be on her own as long as you could help it. My mom says hello to you too. Mm-hmm. And so your role in this ended. It was a job well done. The rest was on Tamarack. She bobbed her head while you listened to a list of generally pleasant replies. Yep, that's right. Don't worry. She couldn't say for the New Year check-in. The big day of class hadn't happened yet. Tomorrow. It could be a perfect afternoon, or the building could explode. Far from the side of the conversation you got to hear, her mom never strayed from the safe subject of school, which meant there was even less to discuss. The closer Tamarack got to wrapping this up, the higher her pitch got. I love you. Tell Dad I love him too. Bye. Tamarack tapped the red button on her screen with a thumb. Then she collapsed all over the tire. It was like that one painting with the melted clocks that teachers and YouTubers like to show. Tamarack's limbs were practically dripping off her. Seeing her that way was wrong. She looked so out of place. You couldn't help but pause there and acknowledge how wonderful it was that Tamarack was still here. Living with her Omi and Opa was meant to be temporary, and it had already been nearly half a decade. Her parents kept in touch, and they visited, sometimes more, sometimes less. That inconsistency meant there was never a sense of normalcy around them, no matter how many months went by. As soon as things were calm enough that you thought Tamarack was going to be in Golden Grove forever, her parents would become so re-involved it was as if they'd be packing her bags any day. You lived with a thorn stuck in your chest, one that dug deeper with each passing season no matter what, and every so often got jabbed by the unexpected. Maybe that had something to do with why Tamarack came across like an outsider. People were holding their breath around her, bracing for when it wouldn't be a false alarm, for when she'd be gone. And you knew for sure that Tamarack struggled with seeing her own presence in that light. She told you about it. How much longer would Tamarack Bauman be living right next door? Slowly, Tamarack disentangled herself from the tire swing, one leg coming after the other, not letting go of the rope too soon. Nobody wanted her to get hurt right now. The swing did as it was made to do. Swing. But Tamarack got onto her feet. The first thing she did with her freedom was return her phone to the bag. She stood with her back to you, staring at her cell for any sudden movements. Her parents would never call back. They wouldn't. They wouldn't text so soon after a chat either. But what if they did? But they didn't. Tamarack twisted her head to the side. You could see her face again, part of it at least. The few inches that weren't covered, where did I even get that from? That weren't covered by her hair or shoulder weren't completely impossible to make out from your point of view. She smiled. That was enough. We did it! Phew! Nice work, Mara. Did she say anything about you leaving? You're not going to move away, right? We dodged a bullet, huh? Finally. Great, there's better stuff to do. I was so nervous. Your parents scare me, you said with a laugh. Your parents scare me, you said with a straight face. It'd be nice if your parents moved here. How come your mom and dad don't just come to Golden Grove? You wiped your forehead. Your brows bent as you watched her. Nothing serious had come up, right? Finally, you pressed your palms into your eyes. Thumbs up. She did great. You could breathe again. That made you so nervous. Bullet dodged. You nodded. You rubbed goosebumps off your arm. Her parents scare you. You squinted at Tamarack. Why were her mom and dad like that? Did I say your parents moved here? How come your mom and dad don't just come to Golden Grove? Maybe I'll ask that. Because I think otherwise it'd be nice work. Your parents scare me with a laugh. But I don't know. How come your mom and dad don't just come to Golden Grove? It'd be nice if your parents moved here. That'd be unbelievable. There's nothing here for them to do. But you're here. Yeah. Her words didn't include what she wanted to happen. How could it? Tamarack had to carry something she couldn't speak to anybody about, not even you. She either wished to say goodbye to a life in Golden Grove so she could be with her mom and dad, or she was a child who never wanted to live with her parents, or she didn't care about either possibility. Whatever the truth was, it'd be hard to take, unfair to accept. It was unfair she had to be in this situation. Mr. and Mrs. Bauman, the parents. You guess you could separate the Mrs. and Mr. Bauman if you knew from the ones you barely seen by calling them Dr. Bauman 1 and Dr. Bauman 2. Tamarack's mom and dad were both PhD holders and researchers. They mentioned they were in the process of getting that when you met. At this point, they'd gotten the degrees. You'd be okay getting to know them better. You wanted to like them, though they didn't give you a lot to work with. They honestly seemed cool. And those two should come to town more often. You'd like that, and Tamarack probably would too. Those two should come to town more often. You wouldn't like it, but you'd all manage it for Tamarack. You actually hated them. That was a power couple. You thought they were pretty aspirational, for being intelligent anyway. But they'd like it if you did that, so you wouldn't. They sucked. You could never form an opinion on them. You hardly knew them. Your feelings were mixed. If you knew them better, would you like them more or even less? I think he is this one. I think she's thinking that she would like for them to visit more because she would get to know them better. Like, I know it's like, oh, you'd be okay to get to know better. You want to like them, but they didn't give you much to work with. But I think she doesn't dislike Tamarack's parents, and Tamarack being her best friend, who is still, like, her parents are involved to an extent in her life. She would like for her parents to be more around, and she thinks that Tamarack would probably like her parents to be more around too. Kia loves her parents. Tamarack tugged at the end of her shirt. You'd been quiet for a while. Oh! She made a beeline for the swing. Tamarack darted behind it and held on with both hands. She pushed it towards you. It was the second time she'd done that. Here, you can have a turn. It doesn't have to be just me who uses it. Tamarack whittled the tire like it was the steering wheel for her life, and like it somehow controlled your future too. I could push you, or... She leered at you from over the tire. I could spin you. Spinning a tire swing? What a wild child. Oh, sorry. Yeah, push me. Yeah, spin me. Woo, swing me. Woo, spin me. We can swing together. No, let me push you. No, let me spin you. Are you sure you want to push me? Are you sure you want to spin me? I'll use it, but don't get in the way. I don't have time, sorry. No thanks. You nodded and mocked a push. That'd be fun. You nodded at her spinning idea. That'd be fun. You inched closer. Was it really all right? You threw your hands in the air. Push me! You twirled. Spin me! You pointed towards yourself, then her. You'd be the one pushing. You gave a heavy-lidded look. You would not be doing that. You glanced back towards the neighborhood. You didn't have time. You shook your head. I know what I said about Kia's personality. She's more deferring now. But since this is her best friend, I think she's at least a little bit able to speak up, you know. It's an option, you know. If she wasn't able to say this, it wouldn't be an option even with her set to deferring. Anyway, because we're together. Remember how we used to? No. Physically repelled by the suggestion, Tamarack lost her hold on the swing. She fumbled to catch it, and luckily she did. If she missed, she would have fallen after. Tamarack hugged the rope to her chest. Her eyes were squeezed together tight. That'd break it. No, it wouldn't. Tamarack still wouldn't look at you. You didn't want to push her in that kind of way. She wasn't going to change her mind. You had to move on. Okay. So no to that. Okay. Well, then, she just gonna do a swing, or well, Kia's a wild child, she might do the spinning. I will, but you gotta sit down. She kept her hold strong. I've got it, get in. Let's see. You climbed on top, your legs dangling over the edge. You climbed on top with your legs crossed around the rope. You sat in the center of the tire. You stuck your head through the tire and laid on your stomach. Okay. I don't think she's gonna... I mean, she probably could sit there, but I wonder if she can sit on the top like they used to. You guys remember that scene? Well, I don't know if you saw that scene. But when we first came to her backyard, we got on the tire swing, and then she was in the center and Kia was on top. And they spun, or they swung, but yeah. It really was the best spot. You thought so since you were a kid. It was exciting. This was how to use a tire swing. Tamarack cocked the tire to the side. Your head jerked. Whoa. That was your only warning. Then she snapped the swing. You did a 360. She hit the tire again, and again, and again. Tamarack kept catching the edge of the tire, propelling you into a propeller motion. Your world was a blur. Your cheeks pulled away from the rest of your face. A buzz went through your body each time. Her palm made contact with the rubber. Oh, wait. I read that sentence weirdly. Let me reread it. A buzz went through your body each time her palm made contact with the rubber. The energy you and her were generating could power the whole neighborhood. Faster! Sniff my shoes. You pointed your toes at her. Ooh! Hee! Stop! I'm getting dizzy. Woo! I'm getting dizzy. This is stupid, you said, grinning. Hi, Mara. Bye, Mara. Hi, Mara. Bye, Mara. You laughed and laughed. You held on for dear life. You closed your eyes. You smacked your hand over your mouth. You were going to be sick. I clicked the hi Mara, bye Mara, hi Mara, bye Mara. Wait, let me rewind a little bit. Okay, so I think she's likely to be faster. One of these two are getting dizzy, or this one. But this one I think is most, of all my characters, she's the most likely to say that, because I think that's who she is. For a moment, all your cares were shaken out of your ears. The breeze filled your ears until a hollow thump did. The swing stopped dead. Oof. Tamarack hooked her arm through the center. You held tight to the rope. Tamarack took the hit, but you were the one who got jostled. She didn't budge. Sorry. Following her sight line brought your attention to the house. The back door had opened. Standing in the doorway, framed by it like a life-size vintage photo, was Mr. Bauman. Hello. He gave a tip of the hat to you. The exact same that he'd had 4 years ago. His jacket hadn't been replaced either. The vest and pants that he wore came from the thrift store. Even that part of the outfit wasn't newly made. Mr. Bauman's family picked it out for him, blue to make his eyes pop. Older people loved their old things. That was never truer than with Tamarack's grandfather. He was a true constant, a boulder that withstood the erosion of time. His hair couldn't get any whiter. His wrinkles couldn't get any deeper. Right? He'd already reached elderliness when you'd met. What you saw in front of you was the finished version of him. Mr. Bauman wouldn't have changed a single thing for the rest of his life if he didn't have a wife and granddaughter who made him do it sometimes in little ways. And you adored him for that. Mr. Bauman was the best. He made it easy to ignore him, at least. You still didn't know enough to decide if you liked Mr. Bauman or not. He was awesome. You hoped you were that cool when you were elderly. His old man attitude made you laugh. Sorry, I looked over here and then I read that instead of, yeah. He made you uncomfortable. How did Tamarack live in the same house as him? Mr. Bauman was harmless. He never bothered you. You couldn't stand how distant he was. It was like nothing mattered. And he was your grandparent too. See, I was leaning towards this one. You know, you adored him for that. Mr. Bauman was the best. He was awesome. He hoped you were that cool when you were elderly. But also, he was your grandparent too. I kind of like that. I think that's pretty good. Oh. Does she have a nickname for him? I don't think they'll have options, would they? Oh, there are! Grandpa, Gramps, Grandpappy, Papow, Abuelo. I just realized I didn't read these. Yeah, Babu, Dada, No, Lolo. Oh, I'm gonna mess that one up. Avo, Vovo, Farfar, Dideo, Oji-san, Unku, Grandpere, your own town. Would she say Gramps? I feel like Grandpa is a little long for her, but also, trying to imagine her saying Gramps. Because I guess there's like, well, because there's like a connotation with Gramps, right? Like if you think about a character who would say Gramps, yeah, like in my head it's like those guy characters who kind of have a little bit of attitude, but like they're not like a bad person. You know, you got that vibe. He doesn't really have an attitude, but I guess Gramps doesn't have to be like one that's just like that's where you usually see it in media. You know? Is that just me? I'll let her call him Gramps. I feel like she would want to say something short. Grandpa, Gramps. Grandpa, Gramps. Hiya, Gramps. Grandpa. I'll go with Grandpa. Well, because I feel like Grandpa is just a little, like, I don't know, there's something about Grandpa that makes me feel like Kia wouldn't use it. Yeah, okay, I'll go with Gramps. This is gonna change anyway because the update's coming soon for the demo. I'm excited to play more. Maybe I'll change my mind later when I come back to the step 2 preview. But anyway, carrying on. Gramps climbed down the miniature set of stairs into the backyard, bracing one knee with his hand and taking the steps half at a time. He put both feet on the same level before going down to the next. Gramps was solidly built. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm so sneezy. I'm not like sick or anything, I've just been sneezing. Gramps was solidly built. Maybe it's dusty in here. It's been cold. It's been really cold lately. Got the air conditioners turned up a little bit because it's been so cold. So now they're not so low. Gramps was solidly built. That made the risk of accidents more troublesome. If he fell, he'd fall hard. How'd the call go? Tamarack's gaze met yours. That wasn't much of a call, and that had been her goal. A few minutes of small talk with a friend on standby to make certain it never went past that. Tamarack summed it up nicely with a shout. Good! And this was a good time to go. Chiyu needed you, too. You faced Tamarack directly. Hey, I've gotta leave. See you. Huh? You jerked your chin I did the movement, so I don't know if my audio went weird a little bit. You jerked your chin towards the way out. You're leaving? Okay. You jumped off of the swing. It was fun while it lasted. Bye! Tamarack waved you off. Gramps simply watched you walk away. Good day. The backside of the neighborhood was behind you. You marched around the bend, passing your own house and reaching the other end. For the second time, you came to stand in front of a neighbor's door. You rang the bell. Nothing happened at first. There wasn't the instant reaction you'd gotten from Mrs. Bauman, but the chance for a prompt, adult-like response passed by too. You were left waiting longer than somebody normally had to stand at a doorstep. You had no idea what to expect. This could take another few seconds or a few minutes. You might have to start banging out here. Your gaze wandered. It landed on the row of shadows stretching across the ground. They came from a railing, but were exactly like the bars of a jail cell. Come on, come on. Someone had to answer, right? You had to get in there. You had to see Chiyu. Then the door moved. Finally, somebody answered. On the other side was Mr. Lin. He hadn't left for the day. You were guessing he had some real estating he had to do this afternoon. He did have a coat on. It looked kind of like a biker jacket. Excuse me. And he was kind of a biker, just not a motorcycler. Mr. Lin kept it only half-zipped to show his professional button-down shirt and tie combo underneath. That was definitely the man to talk to about buying something that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Just look at how his glasses matched his eyes and the way he put his hands confidently on his hips. Mr. Lin was great. You thought he was so goofy, but that was fun. He made you nervous. Mr. Lin acted with so much certainty that it left you for none. Oh my gosh, I moved all of that. Okay. He made you nervous. Mr. Lin acted with so much certainty that it left none for you. You'd really gotten to like him lately. It surprised you. You couldn't believe you hadn't liked him instantly. Mr. Lin was the best type of adult. You didn't mind dealing with Mr. Lin. That was fine. He got on your nerves sometimes. It felt like he babied anyone who wasn't 30. He was so handsome. Mr. Lin was just another adult. You didn't think about him much. Mr. Lin was great. Mr. Lin opened his lips next to show the grin behind them. Hey Kia, thanks for taking the time to come over. Now you're a visitor, our charming Chiyu won't mind. He chuckled quietly, though a cloud of concern put in on the sunny mood he'd started with. You know, I wonder how this plays on neighbors, because these two currently are my friends, but like, as neighbors, did I still make these agreements? That's so interesting. I'm gonna have to play this as neighbors. I'm gonna have to do a neighbors run. Maybe it'll be my Frankie run. Frankie's kind of a mess. Just because his parents are a mess. Not that the mom in this game is a mess. She's cool. Anyway, sorry. I get like so distracted thinking because I'm like, there's so many possibilities. It makes this game have lots of replayability, even though this is just the demo on its own. You know? Yeah, you know. The Lin parents had been totally shut out by their teen. They had to rely on the neighbor kid completely. You were their only lifeline left. Not even Rin was a for sure thing these days. If you recall, I think I explained it earlier, but Rin was the tall blonde who was Miss Murray's son. He goes by Rin now. When we were kids, he was Darren, but now he goes strictly by Rin. Call him Rin. That's what he goes by. Yeah. But you'd want to see Chew whether they asked for that or not. So I wonder if you were just neighbors, it would just be like, oh, his parents asked to see if you could talk. Their parents asked to see if you could talk to them. And you're just like, yeah, okay, I guess. I wonder how it goes with Tamarack, though. Interesting. This game has so much playability. Also, sorry, before I continue reading, I set it up as friends from the get-go, and then it was like teamworking, praising, admiring, or was it accepting? I think it was was it accepting and now it's admiring? It might have been teamwork, praising, accepting originally. I don't really remember. But what I'm trying to say is that I did start as one of my other OCs, and it was deferring, teasing, admiring. And it changes some of the options. Like some of the things that Kia was able to say wasn't there as choices. And I was like, oh, cool. So yeah, play around with the combinations of this, because I gotta do one with the contesting character, because I'm assuming it's because it was deferring. Some of the options weren't there, like, because teamworking, you have a little bit more. But yeah, test this out. And then also, unassuming, praising, teasing, that would also change some of the dialogue, I'm sure. I'm not sure how often in Kia's route it said something was like, oh, you teased, but like I know that popped up a few times. So yeah, play around with these if you get the game. Reminder that you can get this game off of Steam and Itch.io. Yep. Should I type that in? Reminder, you can find our life, both this one and the original one, on Steam and itch.io. I didn't put the dot, but you know what the dot is. Yeah, you should totally check it out. This game is so exciting, and it's still in production, but like the demo is a lot of fun already, so I'm excited. And the demo gets an update in fall. I've been looking at the blog posts and stuff, like, ooh, I'm excited. They have finished. They're just about finished with the whole step 1 and a lot of step 2. But the update is going to have another moment. Hold on. So the moments. Oh, maybe I'll come back to this. Okay, I'll come back to this in a second. I'll finish this first, and then I'll at the end go over what the update will have in it. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Come in, please. Don't let me hold you up. Sure. Mr. Lin moved aside. You passed through the door. Your host allowed that. Oh my gosh, that's not what that says. Your host followed after, but you got ahead of him after a few steps. Just head up to their room. You know where it is. I'll be here. You didn't stop walking. You didn't want to stay there. It was hard to explain the way a space could stay so much the same and still be so different. Their living room didn't decide to get spotless tidy yesterday because it knew there'd be a guest. It was always like that. But the house didn't feel nice or neat anymore. Somehow it seemed sharp, stiff, uninviting. Every single time your foot touched the floor, you braced yourself for the crack of eggshells. At the top of the stairs, you got a different kind of jolt. You weren't alone there. Mrs. Lin. She stopped in front of Chiu's room, facing directly toward. She stood in front of Chiu's room, facing directly towards you. Now you come up the stairs, and then you turn and boom. I'm assuming this is Chiu's room. Ah, whoops, sorry. It's good to see you. Well, I think I was a little higher than the mom, but let's see. She had a simple dress, brown from top to bottom. Her slippers were white. You didn't have to check out a window to see autumn here. Mrs. Lin displayed the season in action. Her dark blue hair was pulled back into a bun. That took even more color away from her. Though the hairstyle did make her earrings stand out. Oh yeah, do you see them? They're kind of small, but like gold leaves with purple stones. She'd worn those for years. I think they might have been her chibi. Focusing on her that closely, you noticed her mouth pulled into a faint smile. Oh. Wait, let me see something. Can we see her box a little better if I turn it this way? Oh, do you see? Wait. Yeah, okay. Do you see? Look. They're cute. Gold little earrings, the little jewel. Yeah, those are nice. Those are nice earrings. I've been knocking. Mrs. Lin twisted around to touch the door again. She stared at the wall between her and her child. That must have been exactly how she was before she heard someone coming. Chiyu hasn't answered, but they would know. Nope. I can read. But they would if they knew you were here. Speaking at the plank of wood, she'd stop talking to you. Chiyu, your friend is here. She will be coming in. You leaned in, ears perked. It was dead silent. Still, Mrs. Lin backed away. That was the most the mom could do. She kept that smile for you. You can stay as long as you like. And then she vanished down the way you came. Mrs. Lin relaxed you. You never had to worry about what would happen. Mrs. Lin could be so silly. That was great. She always rubbed you the wrong way. You got awkward around her. You never knew what to do. Mrs. Lin had seemed kind of cold, but you'd begun warming up to her. You had been so wrong as a kid. How could anybody not like Mrs. Lin? It was impossible. Mrs. Lin was so sweet and thoughtful. You didn't need it. Oops, I'm not moving it again. You'd been so wrong as a kid. How could anybody not like Mrs. Lin? It was impossible. Mrs. Lin was so sweet and thoughtful. You didn't need another mama. She worried too much. She never bothered anybody, including you. Mrs. Lin, she was beautiful. So sweet and thoughtful. I think that's good. You took Mrs. Lin's place in front of the door, the unmoving door. The door with not a single sound coming through. You twisted your fingers together. You'd done this before. You could visit Chiyu's room, and Mrs. Lin said you were going to do it. So, yep, that's right, Chiyu, here I come. You twisted the handle and then pushed the door open. It didn't go smoothly. The frame wasn't busted like your bedroom door. Okay, sorry. It didn't go smoothly. The frame wasn't busted like your bedroom door. Something was blocking the other side. Okay. Chiyu hadn't spent their time in there cleaning. Not a surprise. It was a mess. Chiyu's personal space was the only part of the Lin household that had permission to fall to pieces. I'm falling to pieces. Yeah. Oh, Chiyu and Miles definitely gonna get along. Look, Miles is a very space kid. His favorite planet is Pluto. His his special interest is space, namely Pluto. And look, Chiyu's got stars all over his wall. Well, they're constellations, and I don't know constellations, but wow, look at that. Look at that. The room was perfect for a game of I Spy. Your eyeballs were overwhelmed with the amount of stuff in front of them. Trying to pick out any specific thing would take complete focus. And in the center of all of this was Chiyu themselves. Oh, there's notes taped to the wall. I wonder what those say. I wonder if they're like important or not, or just a detail, you know, like I can't read them though. You waded through a shallow sea of abandoned clothes and forgot the note pages. You didn't have to imagine eggshells anymore. One wrong step and you'd crunch something for real. Standing at the side of the bed, you tilted your head straight down. Chiyu Lin. You'd made it. They lay on their stomach. I thought it was going to be in past tense for some reason. That's why I hesitated. Don't hesitate. Always follow through. That's... I don't know if you're familiar with animators versus games. But, DJ from Animators vs. Games said that one of his old teachers used to always say that. Never hesitate, follow, always maintain. Never hesitate, always maintain. But I struggle to read sometimes, so maybe that's why I hesitate. Words, sounds. Anyway, I don't have my glasses right now, so I think it's straining my eyes a little bit. Like, everything looks normal. But my eyes hurt a little bit, and they are a little bit of reading glasses, but they're for further away reading, really. I was told not to use them in like class when I drive at night. And yet here I am. But no, I can see everything just fine. I forgot my glasses, okay? They're in a different room, don't worry about it. Or I guess you're not worried about it. Sorry, I'm rambling. They lay on their stomach, face flat against the mattress, feet propped onto the pillows. Like their dad, Chiyu had a jacket on. Unlike Mr. Lin, that wasn't a sign that they were going someplace. Chiyu hadn't been outside in 100 hours or something, and you'd bet they had their blue plaid coat on that whole time. The edge of their brown hair mingled with the fluffy trim of their hood. Chiyu chopped a lot of the length off in middle school. Under the mix of faux fur and thick mass of hair, you could see a black line on their neck. Chiyu was wearing a choker. Wait. Here you go, because right now Chiyu's laying down. So there, see, they have a choker on. This is about the length of their hair. Alright. A pair of skinny jeans stuck out from the bottom of their oversized coat. Chiyu didn't go as far as wearing shoes in bed. They just had socks on. Excuse me, sorry. Seeing Chiyu from below wasn't something you were used to. For years, Chiyu was tall. Now, as a soon-to-be high schooler, they turned out to be an average-sized teen. You'd outgrown your status as a short kid to be typical sized for your age too. You and Chiyu stood eye to eye with each other. Some people still called them by Autumn. You didn't. Some people still called them by Autumn, including you. Some people... Sorry, my eyes again. Some people still called them Autumn, but you had a different nickname for them. Some people still called them Autumn, including you, though you had your own nickname for them too. I know I didn't have Kia do the nickname thing at first. But I think a lot, I think, okay, so when you hear someone called something a lot, you're gonna pick it up. And even though the boys club dismantled, Rin always called, well, not always, Rin sometimes did call, dismantled? Is that the word? Disbanded. Disbanded. So, I'm an adult. I have an associate's degree. Okay, so, even though Kia didn't initially call Chiyu Autumn, I think Kia would have picked it up. But also, I think that Kia would call Chiyu Chi sometimes, if that makes sense. Because it's the sounds. I think, so the way nicknames work in the group, in the friend group, in my stories, that they just take a sound from someone's name. Ryan is Rai, Ty, Brown is Ty, Leilani is Lonnie, Paisley, I feel like someone calls her P, but I don't remember. So, I don't know if I should type it out how it sounds like English or not, but I feel like, yeah, I did that way because I think yeah, I'm gonna leave it like that because then it makes sense, because then it looks like the name, you know? Yeah. What did I click again? Okay, I wanted to make sure. Well, maybe I could just... Oh, I'm indecisive. Does Kia need multiple nicknames for them? Does Kia need multiple nicknames for Chiyu? Sure, I'll see what this looks like that. I don't think most people will, but I'm sorry, that was a little bit obnoxious. A low moan escaped from between Chiyu's lips and the mattress they were pressed up against. It went on and on until they didn't have air left in their chest. It was a greeting, or a cry for help. One of those. Hey, I'm here. Gee, it's been so long. I'm too late, she's dead. So, doing good there, Chi? Are you okay? I worry about you sometimes. Hello, Chi, I've broken into your room. It's nice to see you. You tapped the mattress. Hello. You poked the back of their hair. That says head. I said hair. My goodness. Seriously, were they dead? You patted the back of their head. Seriously, were they okay? You tapped her foot. She was doing great, huh? You waved near their face, hoping they'd feel your breeze. You tugged on the blanket. Time to get up. You just kept waiting for them. Paisley's doing that. I think Paisley's doing that anyway. Well, no, Paisley might be that one. What would Kia do? Yeah, go that one. I'm not okay, but I'm better than I was 5 minutes ago. They twisted their head onto its side. Half of Autumn's face appeared, and half their mouth was pulled into a smirk. You didn't need to see the other side to tell that much. The sparkle in their eye made it clear. Hi. I'm glad you came over. I've been so busy getting ready for tomorrow and everything. They'd been prepping for tomorrow. Mysteriously, you couldn't believe that. My will is almost finished. You coughed. Okay, Chiu, and that was why you worried. This is why I worry. Don't. Fluttering their eyes closed, Chiu kicked their legs through the air. They grinned as sweet as could be. Kia, I'm leaving you my notebooks, and whatever pages you can find. Their feet froze mid-arc. The bed squeaked, and Autumn's eyes opened again. Burn them. I promise I will. You clasp one of your... Whoops. I can read. I promise I will. You clasped one of Chiu's limp hands. I promise I will. Hold on, what does the rest of the will say? I can't promise that, Chi. It's too cruel. You threw your head back in sorrow. No thanks. You do it before croaking. Oh, you know I will. I'll toast s'mores over the flames in your honor. What? No. You're not gonna die from 9th grade. Gee, it's not gonna be that bad. We can deal with it. You clasped one of Chiu's limp hands. You'd do that for them if you had to. You gripped Chiu's shoulders. You could get through this. You coughed even more. You burst into laughter. You pressed a hand to your forehead and acted faint. You couldn't do that. You shook your head. The situation was worse than you thought. Okay. So the thing about Kia and all the friends in the friend group was that they are very much yes-anders. Yes, and they add on to a situation. Was my hand pressed to something? Oh, okay. Sorry, there's like an indent on my hand. I was like, what? But it's because on my dresser is where I have my stuff. And like, it's not like a big dresser. So my hand was evidently pressed against the edge while it was on the mouse. I didn't realize that. Anyways, back to Kia. I'm leaning towards one of these two, to be completely honest, because she's kind of dramatic. Like, you know, it's like, oh. But also, you know. But she had an agreeing state. I'm trying to think if I have any characters who would flat out do that one, which, you know, actually, maybe Ryan. Miles. Not the exclamation point, but I think Miles is, that's a teasing way of sort of. Paisley. No, this is Leilani. This is definitely Leilani. Like, she's like, no. That's Frankie. Okay, let's see what happens in this one. Autumn kept lying there, making a real show of being on their deathbed. I believe in you. When I'm gone, you'll do the right thing. Stop! Autumn popped one of their thumbs straight up. Fine. Your friend faded right in front of you. It wasn't an act anymore. Autumn pressed their face into the blanket again. High school is a death sentence. The teacher should fail me now and save everyone the trouble. Is that why you aren't coming out of your room? If I never go anywhere, ever, then my parents can't be surprised when I don't go out to school tomorrow either. I figured I should help them get used to it before the big day. And maybe if I do it long enough, people will forget I'm here. I'm not gonna forget you. School can be hard, but it's better than you think. That plan sucks. You're gonna have to come out sometime. You can't live like this. So you want to do homeschooling instead? You have to go. Can I hide here too? Good luck. You're not the only one who doesn't like going to school. You brushed their hair away from their face. You gave them a pat on the back. It was rough. You looked down at them, blank-faced. That plan sucked. Ooh. I feel a need to save. Okay, because I'm gonna be very curious about what some of these other ones do, and so I might just like want to visit it later. Maybe, might change my mind. Can I hide here too? I'm not gonna forget you. I think this is Leilani. I think because Leilani less than Leilani's not great at reading rooms and people. Like she does try, but also she misses things very, 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 very much. She's book smart, not people smart. But we're not doing Leilani right now. Did I read these ones? No, I didn't. I stopped here. That plan sucked. Well, good luck to them. You smacked a hand to your face. They had to go. You had no idea what you were supposed to say to that. You silently wished them good luck. Could you hide in here too? Maybe you'd be able to sneak in. Yeah, Kia hasn't had a great time at school. Kia's actually really bad at school. I mean, she's okay, but she's kind of bad at school. Sorry, I get so... I'm not gonna ever forget you. Okay, yeah, you can do that. Autumn moved their face off the bed again. They needed to take a deep breath. You don't have to stand there, you know. Sit down. You sat on the edge of the bed. Oh, sorry, I didn't read both of them. You sat on the edge of the bed. You kept standing anyway. And it was the very edge. The mattress sank down with your weight pressed into only a few inches of space. Chiyu hadn't left much room anywhere else. Autumn kept staring at you from below. Then they shrugged, using a single shoulder. That was enough. No way would Mom and Dad... Does the music get loud to anyone else? Hang on, I forget that there's also this volume button. There we go. No way would Mom and Dad let me skip school to stay in my room. Even I'm not that stupid. For real. I gotta read that again, I wrote that weirdly. No way Mom and Dad will let me skip school to stay in my room. Even I'm not that stupid for real. You're not stupid at all. You don't have to pretend. Listen. My real plan is that I'm gonna move into my other room tomorrow and live there instead. Pretty clever, huh? They're so worried about being in here that when I do leave the house, they'll just be glad about it. They'll never see phase 2 coming. Chiyu pressed their hands into the blanket and lifted themselves with the effort of having done 1,000 push-ups. So very easily, because if you've done 1,000 push-ups, you've probably like got that arm strength, right? Yeet. Okay. You bobbed high and low on the bed, while Chiyu got comfortable in a different way. They sat cross-legged. Your faces were a lot closer, but they weren't looking at you. Oh look, now you can see. Oh look, we can see the shirt too, because sorry, I keep looking at little details. Like, see, you can kind of see their shirt here. It's like the white with the triangles. Are those all triangles? Oh, I'm not sure about that one. Most of these are triangles. All of them. And then here you can kind of see like a little bit of the shirt with the triangle. You know what else are triangles? Paper airplanes. Ha. Ha 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 ha. Sorry. Autumn stared through a window, the one overlooking their backyard. In the distance, a child's fortress stood among the trees. Could that protect them? I don't want to see anyone out there. I don't want to be anyone. I don't feel like I am anyone. Oh no, don't be sad. That makes me sad. Ah. They hid their hands between their knotted legs. Autumn's head and back bowed forward. They were under a weight no one could see, but that didn't mean it was fake. Expectations were very real. What about you? Do you get it? Have you figured this out? You'd never been through what Chiyu was dealing with. Since you'd lived there since your whole life, you hadn't had to stop living how people thought you always would. Yeah, but I don't know how. Sometimes I don't know if I do have it figured out. I'm sorry. No, I don't have everything figured out. Life's confusing. Yeah, I'm a genius, you teased. I'm not sure what I could tell you, but I wish I could help. Yeah, I have. You could only shake your head. You had no words for that. You patted their arms supportively. You wished you could do more. You could help more, but couldn't. It made you lower your face apologetically. You bit your lip. Did you have that sorted out for real and forever? You could only offer silent sympathies. You shrugged unapologetically. You were simply a genius. I guess this one, I'm not sure what I could tell you, but I wish I could help. This isn't your fault, Kia. They reached over to tap your shoulder. At least we can lean on each other, right? Except for tomorrow, 'cause I'm not going to school. You both laughed. They kept looking at you. Chiyu's eyes didn't flaunt how dead inside they were anymore. Suddenly, they were alive. Okay, Chiyu was up to something. Hey, I've got to give you something. I think I read that weirdly. I'm supposed to elongate the something. Notes for myself. Chiyu unwrapped their arms and then untwisted their legs. They hopped off the bed, wandering towards their desk. They grabbed their most recent notebook. Sorry, did I suddenly get really loud? It's because I turned my head. They grabbed their most recent notebook. Autumn had gone through a lot in the time you'd known them. No matter how much... Oh, gone through a lot of notebooks. Yep. No matter how much Chiyu loved one, it never survived more than half a year. But the notebook was a signature part of who they were, keepers of Chiyu's important reminders. The notebooks they relied on changed size and style over the years, as Chiyu themselves did. This one wasn't falling apart at the seams yet. It was packed with tabs and bookmarks and other paper-sized things Chiyu wanted to keep track of. The notebook was too big to fit in any pocket, so they kept it in their room or tossed it into their school bag before going out. And if it didn't end up in their bag, then oh well. Chiyu flipped to a random page and started scribbling away with a pencil they'd also scrounged up from the desk. Completely hunched over their work, they wrote at super speed. You watched their arms jerk and slide, waiting for answers. Then Chiyu stopped. They tucked the pencil behind one ear. The momentary silence was ended with a cringingly loud tear. Autumn held a piece of paper high. They spun around and presented it directly to you. Their page was bone white, divided by blue lines printed across it. The words it had to say were, "Happy 4-year friendship anniversary. From Chiyu Lin actually." The message surrounded by Chiyu's signature stars with no lines in the middle. The message was surrounded by Chiyu's signature stars with no lines in the middle. Thanks, Chiyu. Oh, thank you. Wow, this must have taken you hours, you laughed. You are so uncool, you grinned. The anniversary is tomorrow. You remembered! I love it. That's really thoughtful, you know? Okay. Don't remind me it's been that long, you acted distraught. You gave a dramatic groan. Chiyu shouldn't remind you of that. You smacked your cheeks. Amazing. What a time-consuming gift. You grinned wide. They were so uncool. You clapped gleefully. She remembered. You didn't react. Your anniversary was tomorrow. You bent over with laughter. That was beautiful. Your face felt warm. It was wonderful. You squished your mouth into a line. How weird. You blinked. Okay. I think he was gonna say you remembered. Yeah. Then you accepted the gift. You were going to keep that nice and safe. Then you took the page. You couldn't leave Chiyu hanging. You'd gotten the message. Chiyu could keep the paper. Kia's gonna keep it nice and safe. She's sentimental. Probably messy too, though, now that I think about it. Chiyu's arms flopped to their side. They walked around their room aimlessly, kicked their legs out with each step, barely bending their knees. Yeah, I figured you'd like that. You're welcome. They brushed their hair around their ear, cocking their head. Doing all that knocked the pencil out. It clattered to the ground. Chiyu pretended that didn't happen. They kept smirking. Somehow, they were still smooth even when they really shouldn't be. Your grip on the note shifted. The paper was thin, crisp. If you weren't careful, you'd get a cut. You folded it in half once and then twice. It became a wrinkly compressed square that fit in your pocket. It became a wrinkly compressed square that fit in your pocket. You put it away. You stayed there. You could hang out with Autumn until Mama was back. And this was a good time for you to go. I mean, Kia didn't mention having any other plans for the day, so I guess there's no reason to go. Yeah, she can stay and hang out. Though part of me feels like now I should have visited Chiu first, and then she could have spent the rest of the time with Tamarack. But you know, it's okay. Maybe I'll do that next time. Assuming that, you know, it's the same, I'm pretty sure. Chiu leapt 3 feet to faceplant on their bed. An incredible use of their ballet skills. The impact lifted you into the air like it was the natural next move in the dance. Ah! You bounced down again, right next to Chiu. Clearly, they weren't going anywhere. Why not get comfortable? Maybe if we're quiet, my parents will forget you're in here too. We could both live in my room for the rest of our lives. I don't think that's gonna work. Dang. At least for a couple hours, you two were shut away from everything. A larger building than this didn't exist. No neighborhood was out there. Tomorrow wasn't real either. You and Chiu talked and talked, sometimes about sucky stuff, sometimes about things that were actually cool. But eventually, the light around you changed. Autumn's room became tinted in orange. The sun was starting to set. Mama had said she'd be there in the evening, earlier than she normally got back from work. You had to go out into the big, wide world again. You left Autumn alone and shut the door behind you. Mr. and Mrs. Lin were together in the living room, waiting. When you hit the stair landing, they looked at you. Neither of them asked how it went, but you could see the appreciation in their faces. You couldn't magically solve all Chiu's problems, even though they sometimes still called you a sorcerer. All you could do was help them forget about it for a while. For Chiu's parents, who hadn't managed to get near them for a single minute, you'd been there for their child today. That was enough. They didn't keep you any longer. You returned to the cul-de-sac. Oh look, you see their full outfit. Oh, Tamara's got a little bandage on her knee. Oh yeah, they mentioned often she wears rain boots. I wonder what she wears now for shoes. Oh, the picture went away. Oh, I didn't save in time. Oh, okay. Well, I completed it. Wait, if I hit continue, what's gonna happen? Oh, it picks me up from here. Okay. Well, okay, wait. I finished. We all saw me finish. Oh, as I mentioned, I learned something. Wait, I think I went with this one. I learned I can skip through a little bit faster if I press the skip button, because you know that one time I went back and I had to re-choose all those options. Hang on. Wait, don't mind me. I don't know if I actually need 2 save files, but you know, that's what I'll do. You remembered. Keep it nice and safe. Stayed. Ah, dang it! Okay. That is okay. I'm gonna do it one more time. I'm sorry. But this time I'll click it. I want to save on the thank you screen. Okay, I didn't expect the thank you screen to go away. Ha. Boom. I did it. I win. Okay, so there we have it. That was the demo. But the demo is getting an update soon, which is what I wanted to talk about a bit. Only like you can see the picture in the background. Ha, it's frozen forever. Well, not forever, because I'm about to click on this real quick. But so, they're adorable. The besties. Anyway, well, they're not besties, but they're Kia's besties. Anyway, so, the update. What the update's bringing. And it'll happen sometime in fall of this year. The update to the demo. Look what I found out. These stickers, I thought I just clicked on them and they just lifted, but they actually moved. You can move them and decorate the page, or like put them in different places. You can put them over these. You can put them under the words. It's cool. Anyway, so these are the moments. There will be one more moment added here in the I say here like I know it's going here directly. I don't know, but it's going to be on this page. It's called Fancy Fun. So they're going to add another moment. They're going to finish the prologue for step 2, which they said it would be the length of 2 moments. And then there's going to be a moment for step 2. So it'll be one more moment here. The prologue of step 2 complete. And a moment for step 2 for after the prologue. And that's very exciting to me. So I'm gonna have this save file as we all see it here, and I will pick up back from here. I remember, so walks, we went to the bridge. Oh, you guys should definitely play this game so you can see the little like differences when you do different things. It's really cool to me. But so yeah, walks, we went to the bridge. We went to the special place, which was behind the diner table. There's a hiking trail, and then through the hiking trail there's this area with this bridge, and it's got a little river creek under it. And we went there. Well, first we stopped by the corner store, got some snacks, then we came here, and Tamarack and Kia went to the bridge and they tossed cashews. And I guess I should probably do this recap when the new moment's here, because it'll be a while. But I don't know how long it'll be, but it'll be this year, and I will just pick up from this save file, I think. But when the full game comes out, because that'll be a while, when the full game comes out, should I continue playing as Kia, or should I play as one of my other OCs? Because I have plenty of OCs and I love all of my OCs. And doing this is a lot of fun, and I know that in a while when the game comes out, things will be a bit different, and no one's going to remember this playthrough very clearly. So it makes sense to just start over, but if I start over, it would also make sense to start over as a different character. But yeah, so we threw cashews, then we sat on the stairs and ate snacks, and Darren at the time caught a cashew in his mouth but spit it out because it was such a surprise. He choked on it. But Baxter caught several of them in his hands. So Baxter won. Chew technically didn't catch any, but after the snack time, everyone's sharing Tamarack's fig cookies and all their snacks. Tamarack tossed a cashew left, like a little tiny cashew left in the bag to Chew, and Chew caught it. And then Tamarack was like, "Hey, you caught one that I threw." So it was a good moment. It's funny because if she hadn't, Kia would do either one. Different characters might decide to do different things. Like I think Paisley might be a little competitive and would have gone down there. I think Paisley's kind of competitive. Leilani might just watch, actually, because that is an option. I forget that it's an option. Leilani might just I'm gonna watch. You guys do that. You guys have fun with that. Miles is a throw cashews off the bridge person. He's not gonna try to catch them. He wouldn't be very good at it either. For Wills, we went down to the park, which is what you initially wanted to do. But we did walks first. Which, again, you can switch them in the middle. It was listed in the tutorial. You can switch from that opening scene because they have the same opening scene, and then you can decide which one you're doing from the opening scene. So try it out. Get the game. Go download it. It's on Steam. It's on itch.io. Go, go, go. Wills, go to the park. Darren at the time, Rin wanted to have a race because that's what the boys club usually does. Tamarack's like, I'm not interested. And Chi was originally going to say no race because Tamarack had a scooter anyway. But Tamarack's like, you guys can do what you want to do. You don't have to do what we do all the time. And so the race, and Baxter agreed. Baxter didn't even like racing very much because he's not a racer. So Tamarack and Baxter, like, we won't race. You guys go ahead and race. And then Kia joined the race on her bike. And she put in all her might. And she won. She won the race. Go Kia. And again, I'm doing this recap, and I probably should just do recap later. But yeah, and there we have it. There was the demo. This has been a lot of fun. I'm very excited. Next time I play, because I might as well like wrap up. It's only been 2 hours, but you know, it's still been about 2 hours. Oh yeah, they also GB Patch. GB Patch has different social medias where you can see the information on the game and follow. They also have a Patreon. There was a Kickstarter page for this game. If you haven't seen it before, I just recently found out about it like yesterday. The Kickstarter's over, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff planned for this game that they're working on. It's really cool. And when the update comes, I'll probably just continue this one, maybe. But next time I stream, I'll be going back to the Pt6 games. Let me see which one is next. So my next Pt6 game is Kingdom Days. So next time I stream, I will be playing Kingdom Days Sim Date. And I'll probably do Kingdom Days, Chrono Days, and Lunar Days, and then I'll play a different game. You know, so it's like 3 new game, 3 new game. But I was thinking though, because like one of the games I could play is the original Our Life, but it's longer than this because it's a complete game and not a demo. And I wouldn't want to do every single day. So what I'd probably do is choose a day of the week. I'm leaning towards Saturdays, which means, oh, this is gonna very much throw off my plans for streaming. Okay, what should my stream days be? Right now, my stream days are Monday, kind of, maybe Wednesday, maybe Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Right? But I think days right in a row are pretty good, but I don't want to stream on Sunday, and I don't really like streaming Thursday. Well, I only stream Thursday once, maybe I'll try Thursday again. Originally my plan was Wednesday. I was going to stream Saturday and Wednesday, and then I was like, oh, I should stream more days a week. So I was going to do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but I wasn't sure if that'd be too tiring. So then I was like, okay, maybe I'll stagger them and do Monday, Wednesday, but then, you know, it can't be staggered like that. So Saturday, Thursday, Tuesday, I don't want to stream on those days. Saturday's good. I don't want to stream on Tuesday. I don't know. Tuesday's not a good day. Tuesday's a day that's most likely I have to leave the house type of day. And, so yeah, but I might come back on Wednesday and see if I like to stream Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And if I do, then I can play Pt6 game on Wednesday, Pt6 game on Thursday. Oh wait, what games was it again? So I can say those clearer. I might do Chrono Days. Wait. Kingdom Days, sorry. Kingdom Days Wednesday, Chrono Days Thursday, Lunar Days Friday, and then on Saturday I might start Our Life Beginnings and Always. Which, are you familiar with that game? Hang on. Let's, I'm gonna just save that. I was just looking at stuff. Okay, so, what's this? These are all the songs. I mean, yeah, I know these are all the songs, but I was like, did this expand? It did expand. Look, the song list expanded. I have you out. Oh, look, and you can just see the background. Oh my gosh, wait. Oh my gosh, wait. Oh my gosh. Ah. Not really. I don't know. It's not very excited. What was the first one we played? I don't remember, but it was also the forest. Oh, our little home, our little nice home. The town. Okay, forest. Is that what we started? Nope. Fun. Tamarack's backyard. I'm in the Bauman backyard. Home. That's cool. They got a lot of pictures here. I wonder if it'll like expand. Oh yeah, we went here and Kia went to dinner. I guess I don't really need to recap everything. I keep wanting to, but you know, it's over now until the demo update comes, and then I'll be back with this because I am really enjoying this game. I like it very much. I've mentioned before vaguely, so we all know that this is also like a you can date. Wait, hang on. So like if we go here and we go to the relationship. Oh, it doesn't tell us here. Well, that's a little awkward. Hold up. Okay, ignore me for a second. No, wait. Ignore me for a second. Ignore me for a second. Okay, here we go. So I'm just gonna show this real quick. So like, see, here you have different dynamics. So it can be like a relationship, friends, like platonic, romantic, nothing, and you can like change them through the steps if you recall or don't recall, and that's really cool. Part of me wants to just go and like start making my characters on here because I like the can you hear me? Wait, I'm talking quietly again, aren't I? I am. Oh my gosh. Okay, wait. Okay. I guess it doesn't matter if you can hear me is not the same as if my character lights up, but that's very important. It's very important for her to light up when I talk. But yeah, I enjoy making the little character customization thing, and you should try it too. And you should try this game. Again, it's on Steam and Itch.io. It's the demo. It's really enjoyable. There's a lot of stuff that I didn't even find out. Like the story is definitely different depending on if you're like friends or neighbors or crushes from the get-go to further on. And it's cool. It's cool. You should do it. You should play it. You should go play it. You should go get the game. And then yeah. This came an advertisement. I don't know, I enjoy it. And I'll come back and play more when the demo expands. And the plan is to just keep playing as Kia when the demo comes back, but maybe because I'll probably just keep playing as Kia when the demo expands, because it's not going to be too far out, but when the game finishes and is out, which might be next year. That's the current timeline, maybe sometime next year. But I don't mind whatever the game comes out. I'll have to start from the beginning regardless. And I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to very much enjoy this game. And so anyways, like I said, schedule will be, well, if I have, oh no, I might have plans on Wednesday. Anyways, next time I stream, I'll be playing Pt6's game, Kingdom Days. And that's the important part. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. I'll be streaming either Wednesday or Thursday. It'll probably end up being Thursday. Then I gotta change around my schedule a little bit. Well, if I can't, okay, I'd rather play a long-term game on a Saturday. So maybe what I'll do is if I do Thursday, Friday, Saturday for Pt6's games, because I do want to play them in threes, then maybe the next time I stream after that, if it'll be Monday or Wednesday, because it'll probably end up being Monday or Wednesday, because I feel 4 days a week is good for me. So Monday or Wednesday I'll play. Maybe I'll play this dating sim visual. Well, yeah, it's dating sim called Our Cinderella. I think it was called Our Cinderella. Hang on, you're gonna see me disappear because I pressed the thing. Yeah, it's called Our Cinderella. It's a little dating sim game that I could probably play on here. I only played it once. Everything closed. Okay, here we go. But yeah, anyways, that is everything probably that I have to say. And so I thank you for getting this far and getting to this point. Thank you very much for watching. Yeah, this one was a little shorter than last time, I think, but that's okay because it is. It's okay. Yeah. There's other games I can play too. I'll figure out a schedule better later. But yeah, that's all for now. Thanks again. Bye.